an auspicious full moon in Sagittarius in the bins with the nodes of destiny. Wednesday, June 11th at 12:43 a.m. Pacific time. Adjust for your time zone accordingly. This is a philosophical decision, a moral choice, a karmic turning point, and for some, a call to adventure or a call to action. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the very fated full moon of Sagittarius and its T-square with the nodes of fate on the Pisces-Virgo axis, what it means in our personal lives, who it will affect most personally, depending on your own personal astrology, as well as what it might mean in the collective sense. But first, I want to say, if you're watching this on Instagram, I'm just going to post the first 3 minutes here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please find me there. I will put a link in the profile bio of my Instagram to get to my YouTube channel to watch the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. Helps me in the algorithm, helps me to grow my business and my community and my channel, and puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you are watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. Free for you, very helpful to me. Also, in my Instagram bio, there's a link to go to my website, elianenicole.com, and book a reading with me there. And that same link is also in the description notes of my YouTube if you want to just go to that link and book a reading with me. And now, without further ado, I want to talk about this very fated full moon in Sagittarius. And yes, this is a fated full moon because it's in the bins with the nodes of destiny, also known as the nodes of fate, that are on the Pisces-Virgo axis. And the nodes of destiny have been on the Pisces-Virgo axis since January 11th. I did a whole video on what it means for the nodes of fate to be on that axis for a year and a half. But this is one of those points, this full moon of Sagittarius, that really illuminates what that storyline is in our lives on that Pisces-Virgo axis. And this is going to be strongest for people who have any planets in the mutable signs from 20 to 23 degrees, any personal planets. So sun, moon, rising, but even midheaven, IC descendant. Even if you have Venus or Mars or Jupiter or Saturn from 20 to 23 degrees of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, this will be a very personal full moon to you. Obviously, all Sagittarians are probably going to feel it very strongly, all Geminis, because, you know, the sun and the moon are on the Gemini. The two luminaries are on the Gemini Sagittarius axis, lighting that up. And so, you know, that's the axis of knowledge. It's the axis of travel. You know, it can be the axis of like media and broadcasting, but it's also the axis of like the details versus the big picture, you know, the facts versus faith, and all of these kinds of things. But it's also bringing in the issues of the Virgo Pisces axis, health, materialism versus spirituality, you know, faith versus fear or worry and anxiety, and a plethora of other things. Watch the video. I will put a link below in the description notes of my YouTube video to get to the Pisces, the Virgo Pisces node video. It's a good video to watch because it takes us from January of 2025 all the way to the summer of 2026, that nodal axis. So it's good to verse yourself on what this is about, because we're going through a lot of collective and personal experiences of a fateful or karmic nature around this axis in our chart, wherever it falls in your chart over the next, now about a year left of it. We've been dealing with it for 6 months, and so this full moon is really lighting up those issues, and it's creating a T-square with the nodes of fate, which means that there's a fated choice that must be made, and because this full moon is in Sagittarius, its host is Jupiter, and Jupiter has just moved into Cancer June 9th, where it will be for a year in Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Jupiter is considered the planet of grace and good fortune, abundance, prosperity, gifts. It magnifies things, it expands. Jupiter in Cancer does really well, so it can work at its full capacity. So Jupiter is definitely here to bring blessings, the host of this full moon. As the full moon emerges, though, Jupiter is in a square with Saturn in Aries, and or approaching the square to Saturn in Aries, and also Neptune in Aries. So it's applying. And so, there is a sense of wanting to expand, and there being some maybe obstacles or, authority figures, systems, institutions, bureaucracy, that is preventing you from going as fast as you want. In some cases, it may be straight up, for some people, things like old age, preventing them from moving, expanding as quickly as they want. But, sometimes it's more like old systems and structures on a societal level. And so Jupiter in Cancer, the host of the moon, is really wanting to expand around family, home, safety, security, privacy, and it's getting some pushback from Saturn in Aries, who's saying, these are the rules, these are the regulations, slow down, proceed with caution, no, this can't be done this way, blah, blah, blah. And so we have that dynamic being highlighted, the Jupiter-Saturn square that's coming up. That's a really big square, and it's part of the storyline that's been going on really since August of last year. But this full moon is like a culminating point of that storyline. And this full moon is also a culminating point of a storyline that started at the end of November at the new moon of Sagittarius, which is around the last day of November and the first day of December 2024. So if you look back to that time, or you look back to August 19th, this full moon is a culminating point of both of those points. And it's also a culminating point of the new moon of Gemini, which was a couple weeks ago. So, again, it's different for different people depending on your own personal astrology, but it's affecting the mutable signs the most strongly. And for the mutable signs, there is definitely going to be some shifting, pivoting, about face. It's going to require a lot of adaptability and flexibility from the mutable signs. Now, for the fire signs, Leo and Aries, this full moon will be creating a trine to your planets. It's going to be very energizing, very motivating. It's going to be delivering major blessings, and it is going to be a moment where I think you were spurred into major action in the best way possible. It's going to probably ignite a lot of passion, drive, motivation, desire, and just a general go-get-itness in anyone who has any personal planets in Leo or Aries from 2020 to 23. So that's a completely different energy. And for the air signs, Libra and Aquarius, that have anything from 20 to 23 degrees, you will be, any personal planet, sun, moon, or rising, 20 to 23 degrees of Libra or Aquarius, this full moon is going to highlight opportunities, highlight blessings, but you have to interact with it. You have to be proactive. It's not going to land in your lap. You have to recognize the blessing to receive it. So look to the houses that are being brought together by the aspects. And again, I can take anyone through their chart if they want to know where it's happening for them. But yeah, I think it's a really good luck full moon for Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Libra, and and potentially a good luck full moon for Libra and Aquarius. It's a little bit more of a challenging moon, probably for Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini, but it's still blessed. And so it's like there's this message from the cosmos that whatever the challenges are happening here on the mutable axis, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, blessings abound. It really is for the higher good. It is for the big picture. And this full moon might enable people to look at the big picture, look at the vision. Sagittarius is also the adventure. Sagittarius is the wanderer. It's the priest. It's the spiritual seeker, and so this full moon may be a call to adventure for some, a call to action for others, because it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter rules things like our morality, our philosophy, our belief system. There may be a moral choice that needs to be made as the full moon blooms in the bends with the nodes of destiny. There may be a philosophical decision that is going to then affect the path ahead. And the Pisces North Node is asking us to have faith. The Virgo South Node is asking us to release fear. And that's what is being highlighted in this full moon. It's like this choice that needs to be made, a moral choice, a philosophical decision, possibly a call to adventure or a call to action that you're wondering if you should answer, but there may be fear because something has to be sacrificed, something has to be let go of in order to move in the direction of our North Node, of our Dharma. And that direction requires faith. And we may not have all the facts, we may not have all the details. There may be things that we have to sacrifice to go in this new direction. But if we don't go in the new direction, this choice at this moment affects the path it affects our destiny. And it's like the universe's choose your own adventure moment that's happening at this Sagittarius full moon. And the full moon again is 12:43 a.m. Pacific time, 3:43 a.m. East Coast time, 8:43 a.m. GMT in London. And this is just going to be a shorter video. I really like this lunation. I think, and I wanted to say for Donald Trump, it's a very, very personal full moon because he was born under a full moon. He was born when under the full moon, and he's a Gemini. So he was born under a full moon of Sagittarius. And this is right on his personal astrology. So expect a big moment around him. He's probably in the news making some kind of, it looks like he'll be highlighting something around religion. It could be something with the Pope or other spiritual leaders in the world. It looks like a square, so a conflict or a tension. He might be having with some spiritual world leaders that are highlighted under this full moon. There's and he has a big Mars-Uranus square coming up at the end of the week on Sunday that it could be very volatile for him. But I don't want to get into that too much. I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to say thank you for joining me. I want to remind you that there's a link in the description notes to book a reading for me. With me, I would love to read for you. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country and anywhere in the world. I think everyone should have their chart done at least once in life. I think it's the most beneficial if you continue to get transit readings every 3 months, every 6 months, every 4 months, whatever your rhythm is. But you just get to know your chart better and better over time as you work with an astrologer. People usually find it to be very enlightening, very therapeutic, very soothing, very validating and confirming. And I love doing it. It's fascinating. And yeah, I would love to read for you. So contact me for a reading. And thank you for joining me for this Sagittarius full moon. And full moons generally just last for about 3 nights. The full moon energy. So they usually move quickly. But sometimes the reverberations of the full moon, unless they're eclipses, of course have that 6-month arc, but the full moon, normal full moons that aren't eclipses, they may be reverberating for the next couple of weeks, but the actual energy of like the events of the full moon will usually happen in that 3-day period. So again, the full moon perfects June 11th. I do think that there's a lot of grace here and that there's a lot of mercy here, even though we are dealing with some very challenging, emotional material and spiritually challenging, emotionally challenging kinds of things. And, you know, the wars that are going on is reflected by the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries over there, which the ruler of the moon is in a square with. And so, you know, it's this sense that there is, you know, there's tension in the world, there's fighting in the world, things are tough. But there's also a lot of blessings and grace and compassion and philanthropy and generosity and all of this great stuff coming through. And so be a part of the blessings, be a part of what's making the world better instead of the war. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking. So anyway, I'm going to stop there, get off of my soapbox. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Bye.